Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Let's Play. I'm your host. See you later. And what are we doing? We're up here on a tree. Look at us. How did I get up here? Well, obviously, if you take a look here, I've got the elytra from our last episode, and I've been doing a little bit of stuff off camera. So I just thought I would hang out up here, and we have been doing a little bit of flying. You can see the elytra is glowing, and I put mending and unbreaking on it. And there's a couple of other things I want to show you about it that I did with a data pack that I installed, which is really cool, and I think that you guys should check it out. So yeah, if we just swap around here and take a look at this lovely view of our little starter base. Yeah, I like the view from up here. You can see our animals down there. There's our little starter house and our starter farm. And this is different. So I showed you guys the sugarcane farm uh, in a previous episode, and I wasn't really happy with the design of it. I was doing some testing, and yeah, its productivity was really low, and I was going to have to make it really big in order for it to do something. So without further ado, let us go for a little flight here, and we'll check out the elytra. It's so cool. I really love being able to fly around and see our little Savannah Island area here. I'm having a lot of fun with these new updates, also with the update aquatic, and there's a bunch of things that I want to do. There's actually so many things that I'd like to do that I'm starting to on occasion I'm starting to forget what it is that I want to do. So one of the things I'd like to start off with today is let's hop down here. And I want to make a to-do list. So let's grab a couple of pieces of leather and some paper and a feather and an ink sac and some sticks. And I'd like to make an item frame and a book. And I believe with the book and the feather and the ink sac, you can make a book and quill. So let's take the item frame, and where should we put that? Let's see. For our to-do list, I think this would be a great place. I'm kind of hanging out here a lot near our ender chest. So I think what I'll do is each time when we make a new entry or log into our to-do list, or if we complete something, we'll just stick it there on the item frame. That way we can walk up and pop it off and then take a look at it and see what it says. So this is going to be our to-do list. All right. And then one of the first things I'd like to do today is, let's see, I'd like to, okay, so let me work on the to-do list and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I did some work on the to-do list, so let's take a look at it. So for right now, some of the big projects that I could think of that we need to work on, I really would like to start the villager breeder that I mentioned before. We have a nether portal set up at a village where we could grab a couple of villagers to start off that process. These are not necessarily going to be in order, so they're just they're there to remind us of the things that we have that we want to work on. Now that I have the elytra, I used up all of my gunpowder to make level 1 rockets, and definitely coming up we're going to need a mob farm. That one actually might be pretty early on the to-do list. I want to finish up the sugarcane farm and add a melon and pumpkin farm addition. So I was thinking maybe either side of it. We will do melons on one side, pumpkins on the other. Or we might look for a design that we like and just do a combination melon and pumpkin farm. I need to do some work on the nether hub. I'd like to do some decorating there. I would like to explore an ocean temple and maybe take out a guardian, some of the elder guardians there. I want to put an auto smelter into our mining operation down in the basement downstairs. And I have already started on a little bit of a prototype for a auto sorting system down in the mines down there. But I really do want to get a big storage base going with an auto sorting system. So what I mean by a big storage base is that maybe we'll try to utilize some more space of our little Savannah home here and start working on a new place for us to hang out that's not too far away from our little farms here and our starter house, but that would also keep all these chunks loaded. So I'm actually thinking, let's fly up here and we'll take a look at this area. So this is a big, nice flat area up here, and I love the fact that it's in a savanna biome because it doesn't rain, and rain in Minecraft can be kind of annoying. But I think this would be a really great area to develop. Maybe little by little turn it into a city and have lots of buildings and things like that. And then if we ever need to get away from the city, we can always head back over and hang out at our little place over here that we started off with. All right, so one of the things I did work on a little bit off camera, which I mentioned that I would show you, is I've got this new design here for the sugarcane farm. So the way this one works is it actually only allows the sugarcane to grow one above its planted height. So it can only grow to 2 tall. And then because immediately above that there's a dirt block, and you can see here this one already has 2 levels, and this dirt here is actually ready for a 3rd level. And this is a modular design. You can build it off to the sides, you can put modules to the side, or you can go up taller. Now the person online who designed this and made the tutorial, it was a really great tutorial, and I'll try to mention it again later on who his name was if I can remember. But he advertised it as being lossless, and I don't know if you guys can see right down there, I have sugar canes that are trapped, so it's not 100% lossless. But I hope that in capacity you can make up for the losses by just slowly grinding out some more sugar cane over time. So this one does not utilize observers, however, like the last design did, and I just have the redstone on top of a block above a piston. And the way this one does, it does not detect the growth of the sugarcane. It actually just gives enough time for the sugarcane to grow. And if you were there in the last episode and I showed you, I came up with a design for a long delay hopper timer that is silent. And the way it works is there's items that are slowly moving back and forth. You see that it ticked over there just now, and every time it moves in this direction and there's a pulse here, it actually unlocks this hopper just to allow one item to go through. There are 38 items in this hopper, and if there are 38 items in this set of hoppers, then every one item you put in that hopper will send a pulse out to this rising edge. What do you call those again? I forget the name. Look at me trying to be a redstoner. So this is a pulse. So this gets a long pulse coming in here, and then this will just give a single pulse out, even if this stays on for a long time. Now, right now I have this set with, let's see, there's 2 blocks over on that side and 10 blocks over there. That's 12 in total, which means every 12 minutes. So each one of those blocks represents a minute. Every 12 minutes, that will turn on, and it'll give a pulse that lasts approximately 30 seconds because that's how long it takes for this one to reset. When that pulse comes on, this dropper will shoot an item up into the hopper, and then it'll go right back down again. So it'll only send out a single pulse here from this monostable circuit. That's what it's called. So this is a silent rising edge monostable circuit. You saw me make these before probably, in that last episode with pistons, and you can do it with pistons, but it makes noise. This whole timer system here is completely silent. Only thing that makes noise here is when the pistons extend to push the sugar canes off. And yeah, so once that pulse comes out, it just goes into a torch tower here. And as you increase the levels, you just repeat this design right here, and you can build one and another and another and another. But I don't really think we need that many that tall. I might actually do 2 more modules to the sides, so we'll have maybe 6 of them in total. So again, with our to-do list, I have the sugarcane farm now, but I want to finish it. And a part of finishing it is doing the decoration. The base that I want to work on later on, I had a really cool idea, and I did a little bit of testing in the creative testing world, and I think you guys are really going to like it, because I thought, well, I really would like to make a tree farm, and I really would like to make a tree farm that I can grow these tall trees in, like the big 2x2 spruce trees, and even the jungle trees. And I was thinking about it, and I did some testing, and I was wondering if you could grow the spruce trees. Let's see, do I have any saplings? Spruce. Yeah, I do have some more spruce saplings. And let me grab some bone meal, and I'll just kind of show you quickly what my idea was about. Because I suspected that, you know, in our little tree farm over here, the oak trees, if you plant them right beside each other, they'll grow beside each other. And I also know that if there's anything within a block space or two, I believe, of the northwestern sapling on these big spruce trees, then the saplings won't grow, except for the spruce logs. It won't detect the spruce logs. So I haven't tried this in survival just yet. I was just playing around with it in creative, but let's see if it works. So if I plant another large oak with the 4 sapling, or excuse me, large spruce, and I bone meal this one, it will grow right next to the other one. Look at that. And it grows really tall. So my idea was, instead of building a base and building a tree farm around a base that would maybe have a bubble column, so you can pop up to the top and then chop the trees down from the top and then replant, with a collection system underneath to grab the saplings. So I think that is going to be maybe like a central feature of our new base design that's going to be coming up. So I'm really looking forward to that. Again, I believe that if there are other blocks, though, like if there are stone blocks and things like that that are in the way, then you can't grow one of these up like this big one here. But yeah, so again, look at this area right over here. We have this large flat area, and really, you guys, I think it's just begging for some really cool buildings to happen. So I might start planning some of that out off camera. I'm going to do a little bit of more work on the sugarcane farm here and get that going. Let me know if you're interested in, maybe I'll make a little mini episode in between that shows how to make this setup. And then, yeah, that way, in case you ever want to make one, you'll kind of get how it works. It's not very complicated, but if you don't put the stuff just in the right spot, it won't work right. So you do need to kind of play around with it and get it to work just right. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I've got a couple of things more to show you inside here. And sorry we're not really doing much this episode. It's more of a kind of a show and tell and planning, but you know, sometimes you really need to plan things out. And I think our to-do list here is really going to help us out. So let's pop down here. Nothing's really changed down here. We've still got the AFK fishing farm. It works great. Thanks. That's the Exuma Void design. And as you can see, I did a little bit of some AFK fishing, and we have filled up all of these chests, all of these hoppers, this chest also, which was an overflow chest, and this hopper. And yeah, so that's going to need some work too. I need to sort that all out. Yeah, so check this out. I've installed a bubble column down in our mine, and the way I did it was I wanted to just walk in and then hit a button and have a quick drop. So you can see there's a sticky piston that pulls that block out of the way. So if I just walk in here and hit it, and then when I come up, I pop up right here and can just step right out of the bubble column. So that was pretty fun to try to figure out. Trying to get this button to send a signal down was a little bit weird, because you have to you had to power the piston, and then when you press the button, it depowers the piston to let it pull the block out of the way. And yeah, so that was fun to try to figure out. But here, so I'll hit the button and then we'll look down, and it goes all the way down to this room, which I really widened out. And it's not done yet. I'm just playing around with some ideas. But I carved out some ceiling and I put some spruce down here. And yeah, so this is the entrance to, this is our little mining room. This is where I always end up when I'm on the way back to the base, when I have an inventory full of items. Also, I'll show you back here. Let me grab some blocks. I'll just grab some stone blocks. I had to expand this already because it's working really well. But if you take a look back here, I did start off looking at some designs for a sorting system, and I'm not 100% sold on this one, although it does work really well. It's a little bit resource intensive with all of these hoppers. I literally drained out all of my iron reserves and had to spend a lot more hours and hours mining, but it works. It works really well. And the way it works is basically you drop the items in up here. Now I put my chest at the bottom, so I had to figure out how to make a item elevator that would insert into this system. And then what they do is each one of these has a filter material in the this is a locked hopper, so it has a redstone that's locking it right now, keeping it from allowing any items to come through. And the filter material allows it so that only the item that you want will go through and then flow through this system. It's a really cool design. Not sure exactly who came up with it, but I looked at several designs that were modifications of older ones. So it keeps 41 items in here, in each one of these hoppers, because 41 is the exact signal strength that will give you an output of redstone on this second piece here, but not on this third one. As soon as you put one more item in here, if I were to drop some stone in here, you'll see this redstone gets powered, and it will continue to be powered. There, it just went off, and it'll keep powered until it drops down to 41 again. So these redstones are actually on top of these blocks here, and each one of these blocks individually, if it gets powered, will power this repeater. This repeater then will turn off this torch, and that actually will unlock the hopper. So interestingly, these torches will power these blocks and will lock these hoppers. So this hopper right now is locked with one in it, and it also locks the one above. Don't ask me how that works. I watched a tutorial. If you watched my last episode, you'll see I readily admit that I'm not a very good redstone guy. We got another contraption over here that's kind of neat, and I'd love to show you that. What you do is, so for the sorting system, I've got it set up for cobblestone in this one, and then stone, which is actually almost full, and there's another. I had to expand this one because I get so much stone with the silk touch. And then we have diorite, and I just put the block in front of it to represent. Now, if you'll notice, my granite is not pink, and that is because I am from a place called Mount Airy, North Carolina, and we have our home of the largest open-face granite quarry in the world. And although there are pink granites, I spent my whole life growing up around granite that looked much more like this, so I just adjusted the texture for myself a little bit to make it remind me a little bit more of my home. So here's our new granite texture. I like that I have a dark gray block to work with. It's really nice. And here's a polished version. And I made it just a little bit lighter, but I thought these would be really great contrast to work together with each other as well. So yeah, so we're still working on our texture pack and doing some tweaks. It's one of the things that I like to do. It's a fun part of playing Minecraft, in my opinion, is playing around with the textures and things. But yeah, so we've got diorite, granite, andesite, gravel, and dirt. And that's it. I didn't want to have more modules down here because when I come back from mining, this is the bulk of the items that I just want to store away for potential later use. And I do have plans for making a much larger storage system later. When we make that big storage base. But the thing that I wanted to show you was right here. If I grab a shulker box over here, and let's say this one is called this is my stone shulker box. It's empty right now. But if I were to grab, let's say I grab some cobblestone. Yeah, grab 12 cobblestone. Now imagine that this thing is full, and I just came back from mining. What I can do is, or even if I have 2 or 3 or 4 shulker boxes that are full, I can put it up here in this chest. It gets sent into that dispenser over there, and when I hit this button, it cycles the system and places my shulker box there. And that shulker box is right now is unloading. Oh, and we just missed it. Once it is fully unloaded and empty, that comparator won't have a signal anymore, and that actually triggers the system to extend that piston. And when it does, it knocks it into this hopper, and I get my empty shulker box back. So you can do that over and over again. So there's the 12 cobblestone that we took out, and that sends it back into this same system. If I wanted to, I could dump it in here, and it would end up back in here as well. See there, the sorting system knows where the cobblestone is supposed to go. So I just tied in the shulker box unloader into the loading system of the sorting system here. So if I show you that one more time, because we kind of missed it getting broken and I wanted you to see that. So I'll stick it up here, hit the button, and we'll just watch it. So unloading 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Aha, that was pretty quick. And see, it popped off into there and ended up right here in this hopper. So we have an empty shulker box ready to go out mining again. Again, the fruits of our hour-long special episode of raiding the end cities for the first time. So yeah, so let's take a look here what I did as well. So on the elevator to come down, you just fall through one block of water with a sign holding it up, and that takes away all of your velocity so that when you hit the ground you take 0 fall damage. You can fall as fast or as far as you want to, all the way up from build height, and when I hit the ground here, no fall damage. So quick way down, and then a quick way up. We'll take a ride. We're in our bubble elevator, and shoots us right back out in the basement again. I love it. I love this new mechanics from the 113, and I hope to play with that even more. Let's take a little nap here. Okay, all right, now it's morning again, and I showed you pretty much what I wanted to show you. There is one other thing I wanted to show you and that is I went mining over in the mesa that is out to the west of us. It's actually not very far. I made an end portal, a nether portal there, but it's actually, now that I have the elytra, it's actually pretty quick to fly there. Yeah, I was watching and I read somewhere or saw in a YouTube video about mesas and gold. So we have that the automatic smelter project coming up, which uses a lot of powered rails, and you need a lot of gold for that. So as you can see, I've been doing a lot of mining and smelting manually in these 6 furnaces here. So I just stick it in and then go do something else for a while. But it's really slow, and I'd like to get a system that's better. So we're going to need a lot of hoppers for the system that I want to build, and we're going to need a lot of powered rails for that as well, which means we need a lot of iron and gold. So what I did was I went over here to this mesa, and actually let's just it's not that far. Let's take a little flight over there. It won't take us very long at all, and I'll tell you, what I read about was that in mesa biomes, the amount of gold, see, it's not even very far from our place there, and I believe our portal, yep, there's our nether portal. So I keep calling it a mesa. I know in 1.13 the name has changed now, and that it's called a Badlands. So what I did basically was I just went down and made another mine, came out here, and there was gold, and I'm not joking, you guys, there was gold everywhere. And I was just mining up gold and other resources. There was lots of iron as well. And then as I was coming down this way, I found this massive ravine, and there was gold all over the sides of this ravine, all on the sides. So I went along and I made some walkways and lit it up, and I did some pillaring up to get to the higher places. And there's still a lot of resources in this area. There's obviously still a lot of places that aren't lit up yet as well, since we have a little creeper buddy that came to see us. But yeah, so I found a lot of gold, you guys. And if you're looking for gold, this is the place, you guys. This is where you want to go. You want to go visit the Badlands biome. See our granite? Yeah, I like it. I don't miss the pink stuff very much at all. Anyway, so yeah, and that's the story. And I left the Ender chest over here so that we would have a quick access to our quote-unquote backpack, and that works out great because I can throw the stuff in there and then just worry about heading back to the base. And then once we get back to the base, I can unload shulker boxes and put away our ores and start smelting up the iron and the gold. So yeah, I know that was a lot to talk about and not a lot of block placing and things like that, but I want to try to keep this one, like I said, a little bit short of an episode. And we'll fly on back to the house. And let's see, is there anything else? Yeah, pretty much that's it for now. I'm going to do some work off camera with the sugarcane farm, and once I get a little bit farther on that, I'll come back and we'll make that in a new episode, okay? So I'm looking forward to seeing you again. I hope you come back and hang out with me again soon. Where am I going here? Am I lost? Am I lost? I'm not sure where we are. Yeah, I think we just keep going this way. Oh no, are we lost? See, that's the thing about flying. It's easy to get lost. Here we go. I think we just go back this way. Yeah, our home is back over this way. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with the wings, you guys, and flying around. And I'm having fun hanging out with you guys. I've been getting more comments on the videos lately. I really appreciate that. I got a couple of new subscriptions recently, and I really thank you guys for that support. It means a lot to me, and I know I'm still saying a lot, and I do try to limit that. But again, you guys, this has just been a quick one. I want to show you what I've been working on and talk about some things that are coming up. And so meet me again. I'll probably record the next episode right after this one and post it up tomorrow. So stay tuned, and I'll show you what we did in the meantime. All right, you guys, see you later. It's been a great time hanging out again. Thanks for coming back to see me for a few minutes. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.